China's breakthrough in high-end manufacturing, the global industrial shift behind Zhangxue Motors' championship victory. 5 years. Seizing 50% of the high-end market share? Bold claim from a Chinese motorcycle tycoon sends shockwaves through century-old European and American giants. Why would a Chinese brand founded just 2 years ago dare to challenge the dominance of Ducati, Yamaha, and other industry leaders? On April 8, 2026, Zhangxue, founder of Zhangxue Motor, spoke out on his personal social media platforms, just 11 days after his brand won the Portuguese round of the 2026 World Superbike Championship, WSBK, on March 28. A 20-year industry veteran who started as a motorcycle repair apprentice in western Hunan, this entrepreneur made a statement that stunned the global motorcycle community. Over the next 5 years, 2026 to 2031, Chinese brands will capture more than 50% of the high-end large displacement motorcycle market share currently held by international giants such as Ducati, Yamaha, and Honda. The remark immediately ignited heated debates on European motorcycle forums. Some mocked it as wishful thinking, while others fell into silent contemplation. After all, this segment had been monopolized by European, American, and Japanese brands for 37 years, and few could believe a 2-year-old Chinese brand would possess such confidence. In truth, Zhangxue's confidence lies in the 3.685-second margin of victory on the track. His 820 RRRS race bike won by a nearly 4-second lead, featuring a 100% self-developed core engine and electronic control system, with component precision reaching 0.03 millimeters. To put that in perspective, it is like precisely controlling the swing of a single human hair held between one's fingers, 0.01 millimeters more precise than comparable European and American models. Even more mind-blowing is the price. Positioned against imported motorcycles priced at around 200,000 renminbi, this high-end model sells for only about 40,000 renminbi. Within 10 days of the championship win, domestic orders exceeded 10,000 units, and overseas orders surged by 158%. 1,000 high-end European dealerships even reached out proactively to sign distribution agreements. In this article, we unpack this impossible story to uncover the often overlooked logic behind China's high-end manufacturing breakthrough and the new insights it brings to global industry. Hashtag Zhangxue's confidence. Backed by track performance and a mature industrial chain, Zhangxue's bold claim is no empty boast. It is supported by both on-track performance and a fully fledged industrial chain. A friend of mine who works at the ICMA motorcycle show in Milan told me that this year, Zhangxue Motors' booth was packed. A veteran Ducati dealer with 20 years of experience knelt beside the bike, repeatedly running his hand over the engine, muttering, "Unbelievable," over and over. He said Chinese motorcycles were once synonymous with cheap and low quality. In Europe, no one associated Chinese brands with high-end performance. But the championship-winning model from Zhangxue Motor has completely shattered that stereotype. The core engine of the 820 RRRS took Zhangxue's team 18 months to develop. To bypass Yamaha's 3-cylinder engine patents, they abandoned traditional counterweight designs and developed a dual-phase balanced shaft system using vector calculations. This not only eliminated the vibration issues common to 3-cylinder engines but also avoided patent infringement. The track version delivers 36.6 more horsepower than Yamaha's comparable model. More crucially, China enjoys unrivaled industrial chain advantages. Chongqing, the heart of China's motorcycle industry, is home to 51 vehicle manufacturers and 410 parts suppliers, forming a half-hour supply circle. Every link from engines to frames is domestically produced, cutting overall vehicle production costs by more than 40% compared to European and American brands. In contrast, European manufacturers source components globally, facing high logistics costs and long lead times. Even Ducati imports certain basic parts from China. This is not cutting corners. It is the result of a decade of quiet progress in China's craftsmanship, precision, and supply chain capabilities. That accumulated strength has finally exploded onto the world stage. Objectively speaking, Zhangxue Motors' breakthrough is no accident. It is the inevitable outcome of China's motorcycle industry evolving from low-end imitation to independent research and development. It also raises a critical question. When a country's industrial chain achieves cluster advantages, how many industry-disrupting possibilities can it create? ## A microcosm of China's high-end manufacturing across sectors. Zhangxue's bold declaration is far more than a motorcycle industry manifesto. It epitomizes the broader breakthrough of China's entire high-end manufacturing sector, unfolding simultaneously across multiple industries. A friend of mine who works in tech investment in Silicon Valley recently vented his surprise. Long a firm believer in European and American premium car brands, his perspective changed completely after test driving the Li L9 during a business trip to China last year. He noted that this Chinese SUV, priced at over 400,000 renminbi, offers superior interior quality and intelligent features than the BMW X5 and Audi Q7 in the same price bracket. Even more striking, Chinese brands held just 24.9% of China's premium car market, 300,000 renminbi and above, in 2023. That figure jumped to 40.97% in 2025 and is projected to surpass 50% in 2026, growth unmatched by any brand in Europe or the United States. The smartphone industry tells a similar story. In the high-end segment above 4,000 renminbi, Chinese brands led by Huawei now compete head-to-head with Apple in a duopoly. Even Apple executives have admitted in internal meetings that the innovation speed of Chinese brands has exceeded their expectations. Compared with Western brands, Chinese manufacturers excel not only in pricing but in dual breakthroughs in technology plus user experience. European and American brands often cling to legacy technologies with slow iteration cycles, while Chinese brands prioritize consumer needs and rapidly commercialize new technologies. Fast charging in smartphones and smart cockpits in automobiles, for instance, were first popularized by Chinese brands before being adopted in Western markets. This reflects a fundamental shift. Chinese brands are moving from volume-driven low-cost strategies to independent technological research. Meanwhile, global consumers are shifting from brand worship to quality priority. The old equation, Western brand equals premium, is being dismantled by Chinese brands through tangible strength, reshaping industry landscapes and expanding choices for consumers worldwide. ## Challenges ahead. The hurdles for China's high-end manufacturing, yet we must not be blindly optimistic. Zhangxue's goal of capturing 50% of the high-end market in 5 years will be an uphill battle, a shared challenge for all of China's high-end manufacturing. In a conversation with a Stanford University professor specializing in industrial innovation, he told me that the strength of century-old Western brands lies not in single technologies, but in long-established patent barriers, distribution blockades and brand inertia. Ducati, for example, holds hundreds of core patents in high-end motorcycles. For Chinese brands to break through, they must either pay steep licensing fees or invest heavily in independent R&D, exemplified by Zhangxue's team spending 18 months overcoming patent obstacles. Furthermore, Chinese brands still have far to go in global after-sales service and cultural recognition. European consumers maintain deep emotional loyalty to local brands. Many would pay more for a Ducati rather than try a Chinese alternative. Western brands have also built global after-sales networks over decades, while Chinese networks are still expanding. Though Zhangxue Motor has signed 1,000 European dealers, its after-sales support will take 1 to 2 years to fully mature. Pragmatically, Chinese brands also face internal weaknesses, insufficient production capacity and inconsistent quality control. The surge in orders after the championship led to consumer complaints over delivery delays and minor component defects. Nevertheless, the trend is irreversible. Technological breakthroughs, industrial chain advantages and market validation are systematically restructuring global high-end manufacturing. This landscape of coexisting challenges and opportunities deserves close attention. This is not a zero-sum game of China wins, the West loses, but a reconfiguration of the global industrial innovation model. The exploration of Chinese brands may offer a new path for the future of global manufacturing. #A manifesto for China's high-end manufacturing at its core. Zhangxue's bold claim is a self-declaration for China's high-end manufacturing. China is no longer content with low-end contract manufacturing, nor will it accept the monopoly of the high-end market by Western brands. Instead, it aims to claim its rightful voice through hard power. This is by no means a zero-sum competition. The rise of Chinese brands is not about replacing Western ones, but collaborating to advance global technology and deliver better products to consumers. As Zhangxue said after his victory, he hopes to show the world that Chinese brands can build premium, high-quality motorcycles and excel on the international stage. We may debate the difficulty of this goal and the challenges ahead, but we cannot ignore one fact: China's high-end manufacturing breakthrough is already a reality. It is redefining global perceptions of "made in China" and reshaping the global industrial order. What do you think? Can Zhangxue achieve his 5-year target? What more must Chinese brands do to establish themselves firmly in the global high-end market? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.